listening to the Survival Guide to High School podcast. We know it's hard and we want to help you know that you're not alone. So we want to give you some advice and tips to help you get through it. Whether that be for really hard classes or just dealing with kids, we want to help you. This podcast features 3 lovely girls who are all currently sophomores in high school: Aubrey, Emma, and Tabitha. We hope you enjoy and find the help that you need with our podcast. Welcome back to the Survival Guide to High School podcast. Today we'll be talking about AP classes and band activities.
Hello, my name is Ethan Andrews. I'm one of the assistant band directors here, and I also teach AP Music Theory.
So what exactly is music theory?
So music theory is like the biology of music. So it's a class where we study music, but we look at how and why certain sounds are created and common practices that we use to write to achieve certain sounds that we might want to hear.
Did you play any sports or any extracurricular activities while you were in high school or during college?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I did a little bit of everything. I was in the marching band, I was in the wind ensemble, which was the top group band for my school. I did East, I did Odyssey of the Mind, I did varsity basketball, I did varsity track and field, and then a lot of academic groups like National Honor Society, etc., etc. I did a little bit of everything. And then in college, I would spend my summers marching drum corps, which is like marching band but to the extreme, and then I was a very avid rock climber.
What classes do you think was the hardest when you were in school and why?
I did fairly well in high school. I felt like I stayed on top of a lot of my classes. That was until I got to my senior year and I had made it to Calculus BC. Calculus was fine the first class that I took at my junior year, and then I got to senior year and I honestly had no clue what was going on for the entire year.
Do you give it any homework in your classes?
I try to keep it down to a minimum.
Do you think your class generally helps the students with college?
If they decide they want to go into music, yes, but if you're not actively studying music, music theory has little relevance in a college setting.
Do you believe your class is hard and why?
Here's that yes and no. Do I think that the class and what's covered in it is necessarily hard? No. But music theory, I would say more than probably any other AP class, is very dependent upon you must understand what's going on in Unit 1 to understand Unit 2. And you need to understand Unit 2 to understand Unit 3. We can't move forward in the class unless you understand what's come before.
How can students study for your class?
Well, there is, I try to post all the presentations. We take notes collaboratively as a class. I try to make everything accessible online. And then there's also this handy-dandy website called musictheory.net, which can generate an infinite possibility of practice problems or examples or listening excerpts that everyone can use.
What's the benefit of taking this class in high school instead of college?
For someone that is looking to study music in college, this can potentially pass, depending on what college you go to, it can pass up to the first 3 courses of music theory that you would need to teach for a music degree.
What careers can you go into with music theory?
So music theory is a very broad topic in music. So anything that you wanted to do, whether it was like being a professional musician playing your instrument, or teaching music like a music educator, or writing or composing, if you wanted to go into music production, even though we associate it a lot with like your band and your orchestra, understanding music theory can help you, especially for like music production, if you wanted to go into like the pop or like the mainstream media type of music.
What does the weekly band schedule look like, Sunday through Saturday, both during marching band and during concerts?
Well, during marching band, it's filled. Monday's like our sacred day off that we always try to accommodate, so that way everyone has time for everything, especially the directors, honestly. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just a brief, 2, maybe 2.5 hour rehearsal after school. Friday, it depends. If we have a game, we're at the game. If we don't, we try to have a little bit longer of a rehearsal to get us ready. And then normally Saturday is typically a competition where we travel and compete against other bands. And then Sunday is recovery day. Outside of marching band, it'll depend. We might have concert band rehearsals. Right now, our indoor percussion group, which is just an extracurricular group that people who want to be a part of it can be, has started up. And then we also try to offer free and available lessons to all the students to help prepare them for whatever they need.
What is it like being a band director working beside Richie Williams?
So the band community is a very small world. It's surprising about how many people you can walk into a room as a band director and they're just like, I know that person, or you're talking to someone and they'll like name drop someone who I've worked with in a different part of the country. It's a very small world, and it's now that everywhere I go, people know who Mr. Richie Williams is. He's a very big name, and it's cool, almost feeling like I'm working with a celebrity.
Do you ever observe that it's difficult for your band students to keep up with their homework and practice times?
Well, here's the yes, but I don't believe it's because of band. I think it's because we are human beings and we choose to procrastinate and be lazy. Because I can speak through the lens of having done all of this myself as a student. It's just time management skills. And if you choose to be proactive, you'll be fine. But if you choose to be lazy and procrastinate, well, then it's your own fault.
Are there any upcoming events for band that people can go watch?
Yes, so this Sunday is the high school band concert for both the high school and the jazz band. Monday is our junior high band concerts with our 7th and 8th grade band. And Tuesday, you can find us marching in the Christmas parade.
Do you have any tips for students who are in high school and are about to go to college?
Yeah, so for high school, well, this is universal. Just manage your time well. I found what worked best for me, especially once I got into college, was I just set alarms. I didn't sit down and try to go, I'm going to do all of this class's work right now. I'm going to do all of this class's work, because you get tired. You get just physically exhausted and you get drained doing the same stuff. And so what I started doing is I just start setting like 15, 20, 30-minute timers on my phone, and it would just be as soon as that timer is up, no matter where I am, okay, on to the next class. On to the next class. And that set a very tangible goal of, I want to get this much done in 15 minutes. And then as soon as it's done, I was done. Because I'd have 3 or 4 days to work on something, but I'd do it piece by piece. And that helped create much more time for me to have free time and to sleep and to eat and to do everything else, was when I started prioritizing my time better.
Do you have any tips for or advice for anyone who is interested in band?
Do it. I believe music is an amazing thing. I think music is one of the most amazing things that we as human beings have. And I think band is just a medium that teaches us a lot of life skills through music. And so if you want to do it, absolutely. It's the best thing that you can do. It's just try it.
Do you have any questions for us?
I don't.
Do you want to say our outro?
Absolutely.
Here you go. You want to give it to him? Oh, yeah.
If you have any questions or ideas about what we should talk about next, let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram. We would also appreciate healthy critique. Thank you for listening, and make sure to listen to our next episode.